How you doing, YouTube? Back with another infinite flight video. I'll be doing a takeoff and a after takeoff checklist with you. I'm flying an A321 today with the American Airlines livery. Whatever plane you fly in, make sure you know the performance data, the specifications, and you have some good telemetry settings on your heads-up display so that you can keep track of how your plane is performing. I'll show you where I'm flying out of today. This is, where am I? I forgot where I am. It's General Mitchell International. I thought I was flying out of Central Illinois. I'm flying to Central Illinois, and here's the flight plan. And here's the visual representation. I'll show you how many nautical miles that is. It's 200 even. About 30-minute flight. Let me center. I'll increase that a little bit. Make sure all my lights are on. And open this map up and center it. And we're ready to go. So some of the things I'm doing, I'll go ahead and try to narrate as I'm doing it, but I have some notes that I have written down, and I'll put those up on the screen so that you can have them. Okay, so if I don't call something out, we'll be able to revert back to it when we go through the notes, the bullet points. Okay, so first brakes off, power up 40% to get rolling. Hit 20 knots, and I'll push all the way up to 91%. $80 knots, continue. Rotation speed is 160 knots. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps 1. Checking the speed, set the heading. Checking the speed. I'm checking speed. I will set it, increase it to 245. That's to make sure I don't overspeed. Right now, I'm watching my vertical speed to make sure it does not go past 3,000 feet per minute. I can set it right now if I wanted to, which I may, and then go ahead and put it to 2.5 and leave it there. Set my altimeter, and that's my after takeoff checklist. At this point, I'm going to keep flying to make sure I hit my first waypoint. I'll put the flaps all the way up because I'm going to hold this speed. I can increase it a little bit, but what I don't want to happen, I don't want it to gust past 250 knots because I'm below 10,000 feet. So at this point, what I would do, I'm going to go ahead and recalibrate my device because I have my my autopilot on. A few words about autopilot. Don't let anybody shame you because you use your autopilot. You can use your autopilot as long as you're, I think, above 1,000 feet. Some people like to fly out, but you know, when you start using your autopilot, stop using your autopilot, make sure, hold on, let me decrease my rate of climb because I'm at 5,000. There's no need to be at that height anymore. And I'll put my trim to 6%. You want to make sure that you have control over your speed, your heading, and your vertical speed. And basically what has happened is that we've been given a lot of the things that we've requested, and so we already have, if you look at the bottom of the screen, all of this telemetry that you have to keep up with. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 settings on the right hand side, plus the rate of climb indicator, the elevation in the altimeter, the airspeed indicator, the throttle, the N1 indicator, the Mach percentage, and the ground speed indicator, and your heading, plus the compass. All of these things that are on the screen, and until you let me I don't know why my airport isn't up there. Maybe it'll pop up shortly. But because all those things are up there, and I'll pause there, we're going to go to the bullet points. What can end up happening is that while you're trying to set everything, you end up losing control. I don't know what just popped up, but I did not hit that. I need this. You can end up losing control of your aircraft. Alright, so let's say you're ready to taxi. The first thing you want to do is orient your map so that you know where you're going, apply enough power to get the plane rolling, and taxi at idle power. Many times, and this isn't a knock on anybody's video, you're going to see people taxiing at 15, 20, and 25% of N1. It's not necessary. Once the planes are rolling, they're not going to stop. And in many cases, depending on the direction of the wind and the gusts, the planes will speed up. There's already a little bit of a glitch in infinite flight, and the planes skitter to the sides, left and right, and whatnot. Sometimes especially after landing. But you do not need to taxi past idle power. Ensure that you keep eye on your ground speed, that it does not go past 25 to 30 knots. That'll ensure that you stay below the speed limits. Avoid turning over 9 knots ground speed. That's to ensure that you maintain control over your aircraft, keep you out of the grass. Avoid stopping in turns because you will have to apply a lot of power, especially if you're in a heavy one of those big planes and it's fully loaded. Line up centered on the correct runway and you're ready to take off. Now, as I did during my takeoff, I adjusted the 40% to get rolling. Then I went to 91%. I looked out for the speed of 80 knots. Then I was looking for V1, V2, and at VR, which is very close to V2, I went ahead and rotated and became airborne. As you saw, things began to happen very quickly after that. My after takeoff checklist, I was checking my airspeed and my altimeter at the same time to make sure I got increase. I had an increase, so I put the gear up at 1,000 feet, excuse me. I put the flaps up 1 notch. I continued to accelerate. I checked my heading. I set that. I continued to accelerate. I set my speed at 245, and then I started setting my autopilot. Here's some definitions, but first, learn your aircraft that you've decided to fly. You can fly as many of the planes as you want to. My suggestion is that you spend a week flying each of the planes that you have. You know, whatever is your fancy. And so here are the definitions. I'm not going to read them. I'll leave them up there long enough for you to have them so that you can go back to them. We're going to go back to the plane. We're going to resume, hit the recording, and we're going to watch the takeoff from the outside. So we'll watch it from here. It may not be perfect. Let me see where we start rolling. Okay, right about there. So we'll hit play. So right here, that's 40. And then you hear me rev up to 91%. I'm looking for 80 knots around this point. And I continue on to rotation speed. Here I rotate gently so I don't get a tail strike. I say continue, and then gear up. And then it's very slight, but you have to look for 1 notch of flaps to go up. And then I set my speed and my heading. All those things are being set so that I do not overspeed below 10,000 feet. And just that quick. You see how close we are to the runway. All those things happen that quickly. Okay? And so what you're going to have to do is practice. Okay? So that's all I have for you. I implore you to continue to practice. Don't get frustrated if you're a beginner with Infinite Flight. It is a great simulator. Once you've learned it, just practice, practice, practice. And thanks for watching.